In this video, I'll be showing you how to utilize the tables and also the exporting functionality within Image Studio. So I'm going to start off here with the images table, and there is a lot of filtering and options that you have with any of the tables. And if I click on the first button here, the filter button, I can do some filtering as far as the different columns that are available on the table. If I would like to sort these by acquire time, I can set up a filter to go through a specific set. I can deselect certain ones if I would like. And if I set up this filter here by clicking Define Filter, there are many options. You can set it to only display images that you have scanned during today, yesterday, this week, or the year to date, within the last 4 weeks, between a certain date ranges, before or after certain dates. And so that can really help if you're looking for a particular image. And that can also be done if you come over here and if you right-click on the Acquire Time, you can set up a filter for these certain date ranges. You can also do this, say, if you were looking for specific comments. If you had entered in information about the acquisition, you can set up a filter for things that contain certain words, do not have certain words. And so there's a lot of different options for this. You can also sort any of these columns. So if you want to sort by date range, if you want to sort by integration times, if you've been using the Odyssey FC, you can also rearrange any of these columns to however you like. And there are also options as far as the types of columns that can be added to an individual table. And that can be done by clicking on the column field right here. So I'm going to bring up a list of columns that are available for the images table. And if I click on that, I can view all of these different types of columns, and I can either add or remove. So if I want to remove a certain column, when I click Save, then it is removed from the table. And then I can also, if I need to, go back and use all of the defaults that are available. And then just click Save. And then the other tables will have different sets of columns. So here under the Shapes table, if I click on Columns, I have this list of columns that are available for me right here. And so each table will have its own set of columns that can be used. I can also do filtering if I only want to select a certain group of images. I can highlight those. I just did a control click for that, and I can then do a selection filter. And then those are the images that are viewed here under this table. Now, nothing has been deleted, and if you notice down here, we have this filter has now become activated. And one thing that will happen is if you close out of Image Studio and open it back up, that filter will still be there. It just won't be applied. We didn't want people to think that they had lost some of their images due to filtering. And so what you can do if you want that filter to be applied again, you can just toggle back and forth between displayed filtered or having them the full list. And so that option is there as well. So next we want to talk a little bit about the tables themselves. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back and I'm going to remove that filter. So I'm going to clear that filter, or I can clear all the filters, or I can just clear that selection filter, which is what I did right there. So if I'm looking for a particular image, go back here and I'm going to sort these by the ID number. And if I go here to my table, and one thing that we can do here is if I want to, I can copy out the data from this table, and then I can also paste information. So what I did was I had created a list of the sample names on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this just using the control shortcut of the Control C. And then if I come here to this column, and I paste that information, all of that is now pasted into the names of these shapes that I have on here right now. And you just want to make sure that the way the data are sorted here in this table matches up with how they are sorted here in this table. And then as far as copying information, if I highlight all of my shapes right here, if I do the Control-C through the keyboard and then switch over to Excel, I can then copy or paste that information into this Excel spreadsheet. And so, and if you will notice, they are sorted exactly like they were in the table, and they are also, the columns are arranged exactly the same as well. So if I have added or removed other columns, or if I've done sorting or filtering, that will be reflected in the Excel spreadsheet right here. Now, another option that you have, instead of copying and pasting them out, is to run a report. And so I can either save this as a .xls spreadsheet, or I can launch the spreadsheet. And if I click the Launch Spreadsheet, you just save this to wherever you would like. The default name is that it's a Shapes table export, and then it appends it with the date. So if I click Save here, it will now open Excel for me. And if I bring up Excel here, then you will see that we have the same information. We have the signal information, and that all matches up exactly with what we see right here. And again, it all depends. And you want to make sure that you are on the correct table, because if I wanted to export say this Western bands data, but if I were to be on the images table, when I run that report, it brings up the images table information as opposed to the bands information, which is what I really wanted to begin with. Now, a couple other things about filtering. If you want to utilize the linked lookup tables functionality within Image Studio, you do have to filter the images. And what that allows you to do is if I run a selection filter on this, you will now notice that this link button up here becomes active. And with that link, what that allows me to do is, if I am looking at all of the images together, now this won't work correctly because I'm looking at images that are collected on different instruments. But if I link those together, you will see that they all will now use the same lookup tables. And so this is very useful, especially if you're doing animal imaging, or if you want to compare images that have been acquired using the same instrument, using the same acquisition settings. You can use this link lookup to view them side by side with the same lookup values. So if you have any further questions, please refer to the help section up here. Thank you.